Hello students, welcome back into the another session of CS22 operating system concepts using Linux and Unix. As all of you know that we are discussing about unit number 7 as per the syllabus, that is shell programming. In this unit we have already discussed about various built-in functions like ps2 path home, log name mail, ifs shell term, mail check by declaring various shell keywords, shell variables, and then we have started with the basic programs where we have written a first code which displays the name of student onto the screen or any text onto the screen with echo statement. Then we have implemented a program in which a variable is declared with fixed value. Whatever the value is initialized to that particular variable is going to be printed onto the screen. Now we can go ahead with another shell script. So the next shell script which we want to implement is write a shell script which read and print value of the variable. Now what will be the difference between this one and previous one? In previous one, value remains constant, and in this program or in this shell script, whatever the value which we enters is going to be printed onto the screen. So for that, how can we implement the same? Just create our file over the shell prompt. Here I am just typing due to some technical issues in my Linux. I am just showing you over the notepad. You have to follow all these steps. First start your Ubuntu, then go into the terminal window and on root prompt first perform the command called cd mvm. You will be into the mvm directory. Once you get entered into the mvm directory, over there using the vi editor create a file called test3, press enter, then press I from the keyboard for entering into the insert mode. Once you are in insert mode, start typing the program like this. First I am giving a message echo enter your value, double inverted comma over, then simply use a new keyword which we found into the Linux, that is read. So using read command in any variable, no, in Linux no need to declare the variable using the specific data type. There is a speciality of Linux. Whatever the variable you initialize over here, automatically it decides the nature depend on the value which has been entered by the user. So what I am writing is read number 1. So num1, or instead of num1 you can go for a also, read a. Then again echo $a, then press escape and with shift and 2 times Z save this particular script. So this particular shell script is going to be saved as a test3. Again a dollar prompt is written onto the screen. Over there type sh and test3. If there is no logical error, the output will be enter your value and prompt will wait for your inputted value. So suppose you enter 3, it will print 3 onto the screen. That means this particular keyword called read will read 3 and stores inside this particular variable, and the same variable is going to be printed onto the screen. So in this way we can perform a shell script which read and print the value onto the screen. Now we can go ahead. Next shell script is for adding the two numbers. That means the shell script would be like this: write a shell script which read two numbers and print sum of two values. Write a shell script which reads two value or two numbers and print sum of two values. So for that, the shell script would be like this. First create a one file name, then by pressing I into the insert mode, type and echo, enter your first number, read num1, echo, enter your second number, read number 2, sum is equals to dollar into the two bracket num1 plus num2, two brackets are over, and then echo dollar sum. Now what it does, it will accept the first value in variable called num1 and it will accept the second value into the variable called num2. This particular statement will add the two values. Whatever the addition is there, it stores inside the variable called sum, and this echo statement will print that sum onto the screen. Say for example, here the value of variable called num1 is 3 and value of this variable called num2 is 2. So then this sum is equals to 3 and this 5, and this 5 will be printed onto the screen. So in this way we can print the sum of two values. After writing this particular code, press escape and by pressing shift and Z 2 times save this particular file, and then with the help of command called sh and then the file name, execute this particular file. You will see the sum of two value onto the screen. Another program we can also implement like this. Write a shell script which print area of circle. Program is over here. In this program I have started with read number directly without any message. Your shell prompt read the number, and then a is equals to dollar into the bracket echo 3.14 multiply by the number into the number. Though it is a calculation, so using this pipeline operator I am concatenating the shell command called bc. If you remember, then the bc is a command which is used to perform the mathematical operation of the given values, and the equation for finding out the area of circle is pi r square. So the equation would be like this: pi into pi into r into r. So it becomes pi r square. Whatever the area is founded through this manipulation is going to be stored into the variable called a, and this echo statement will print that a onto the screen. Ultimately we will find the area of circle. Even I am just showing you this shell script. Just note down this particular shell script, try yourself at your home and observe the output that you are getting onto the screen. What the two things we are getting new in this particular shell script: number one is the keyword called read. It's just like a scanf statement of programming in C. Number 2 is this pipeline operator for concatenating the left hand side and right hand side. And number 3 is the use of BC command for executing such type of mathematical manipulation onto the screen. So this is the new thing that we have to learn in this particular shell script. Now some more practice we can do by ourselves. The shell script is like this, right? A shell script which read two values and print subtraction of two values. Write a shell script which read two values and print subtraction of two values. Next is write a shell script which read two values and print multiplication of two values. We have already implemented a code for finding out the area of circle. Then next one would be write a shell script to find area of rectangle. And last one is write a shell script to find volume of cone. So these are the self practice exercises that we have to do by ourselves at home. Mostly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 exercises are there. So this would sufficient for testing a basic shell script where there is an use of variable declaration, use of pipeline operator, use of mathematical manipulations, use of arithmetic operator, and use of echo statement. Let's move. Next topic of the discussion is various operators into the shell script. Like suppose we remember in programming in C there are various category of operators like arithmetic operators, plus, minus, multiply, divide, etc. Relational operators like less than, greater than, less than, equals to, greater than, equals to, etc. Logical operators like and, or, not, etc. Bitwise operator, and so on. Same like that in Linux, even it provides various types of operator support like minus EQ for equals to, minus NE for not equals to, minus LT for less than, minus LE is less than or equals to, minus GT for greater than, and GE is for greater than or equals to. If you observe all these operators, then E stands for equals to. So whenever you found next alphabet as a E, it would be equals to. The next concept that we have to keep into the consideration is decision making statement into the Linux. So in Linux, various decision making statement it supports, but the syntax is different. Say for example, for if, the syntax is if then fi. For if else, if then else and fi. That means if should be terminated with fi. And for multiple if else, if then else if, else fi. So these are the various conditional statement which has been supported by Linux, or we can say that we can kept all this into the group of decision making statement. So let's see one by one each and every decision making statement by executing a sample code. So to execute the first decision making statement, here I have written a one program in which it demonstrates the same. What I have done, the first line of code is echo enter value read number. If is the decision making statement, test is for testing the entire variable, then number is the variable which I have declared, minus gt is the operator which is greater than, and then 0 is the value. So if my entered value is greater than 0, then it prints the message onto the screen that is positive, otherwise it will display nothing onto the screen. So in this particular code I have just used if statement. Again I am repeating my statements. In this entire shell script, first I have written echo enter value, then I have written read number. If test number greater than 0, then that means if my number is greater than 0, then one message is onto the screen that is positive, and if my number is 0 or less than 0, then this particular program returns nothing onto the screen. So this would be the output of this particular shell script. Write down the definition of shell script. Write a shell script to check value is positive or not, and then write down this particular shell script into the journals. Many other programs we can also implement with the help of this decision making statement also. Let's try one more program. Over the dollar prompt, first create a file called test, then by pressing I, it will shift you into the insert mode. Then once you are into the insert mode, type echo enter your value, on next line read number, then if test number minus LT zero, then echo into the double inverted comma negative fi. Save this particular script with shift and Z 2 times, and then execute this particular shell script using the command called sh. That means over the dollar prompt type sh and give this file name called test. There will be a one message, enter your value. Suppose I am giving 3, it will return nothing onto the screen. Again rerun the code, and at this particular time enter the value called -3, then it will give the message negative onto the screen. So in this way we can check positive value as well as the negative value which has been entered by the user. Now same like this, we can go for various looping control statements into the Linux programming language. Various looping control statement which has been provided by Unix is for loop, while loop, until loop, break and continue command, that we will see now. The syntax of for loop is for, initialization, condition, increment and decrement. Then we have to use do and done. In between this we have to use echo statement. The syntax of while loop is while, do, then the echo statement, then done. For until loop, until, do, echo statement and done. So if you observe in these three looping control statement is completed with the keyword called done. In for even there is a done, in while there is a done, and into the until even it contains done. One example we can take over here which prints 1 to 10 number. For that I have created a one new file. In a file I have written for I in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to 10, then do repeats. In every repetition it prints, that means to print the value in Linux there is a statement called echo. On every line, every new line, for printing the value in every new line, -n I have used and $I is there, which $I is ultimately the value which is in between 1 to 10. So what it does, it prints 1, then on new line it prints 2, then on new line it prints 3 up to 10. It prints all the value. Once the condition is false, that means the number is out of range from this given number, this done is completed and echo statement will be exit the program. So on screen what will you see? Over the screen you will see the numbers like this. This type of number you can see onto the screen. So just write down this particular program by pausing the video. The definition of the code is write a shell script to print 1 to 10 number using for loop. Just note down the program. Let's move on. The same program I have modified with the standard for loop syntax. Same program I have modified with standard for loop syntax. What I have written? For into the two brackets I is equals to 1, as it is an initialization. In previous program you will not find any initialization, it's a range. Then semicolon, I less than 5, obviously it prints the 5 numbers, or you can say it repeats 5 times. It's a conditional part of the looping control statement. Again there is a semicolon, then increment, that is I plus plus, then do statement, echo minus I $I, which prints every value of I during the repetition, that is 1, then 2, then 3, then 4 and then 5. Once the decision making statement becomes false into the looping control structure called for, the done statement completes and echo will exit from the entire code. You will find 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 onto the screen. What will be the definition of this particular program? Write a shell script to print (1 to 5) using for loop. Write down this particular definition and the program. Write a shell script to print 1 to 5 number using for loop. Let's move on. Next, we can test about the while loop. The program is written over here. Even it prints 1 to 5 numbers onto the screen, but it prints this number using while loop. Obviously, you can observe that the number of statement get increased whenever we are using the while loop, as it contains decision making statement in a line, initialization of variable with value in another line, and increment and decrement into the third line. So what I have implemented is c is equals to 1, that means the local variable is c and the value of this variable is 1. Then while test is a function, not a file name. Just clear yourself over here. I forgot to tell in my previous program, test is a command for executing the variable with the testing value. So while test $C less than or equals to 5, do echo $C, that means it will check whether the value of C is less than equals to 5. If yes, then it prints the value of variable called C, and even it increase the value of variable C by 1, that means 1 becomes 2, as 2 is less than 5, 2 becomes 3, 3 becomes 4, 4 becomes 5, and 5 becomes 6, but the condition which has been provided over here into the while statement becomes false. So repetition gets stopped and you will see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 onto the screen. The definition of this particular program is like this: write a shell script to print 1 to 5 number using while loop. Just note down this particular program. For the future use. Next, the demonstration of until loop. Again it prints 1 to 10 number, 0 to 10 number. So a is equals to 0 until into the bracket, not a less than 10. It's a conditional part for until loop. If the value of variable called a is less than 10, then it repeats the statement using do, prints the value of $a onto the screen. That means 0 is printed onto the screen. Every time once the value is printed onto the screen, it increases the same value with 1 till the condition is not false. This particular loop repeats for 10 times and it prints 0 to 10 onto the screen. So the definition of the same is write a shell script to print 0 to 10 number using until loop. Just pause the video and write down the program. Next is the example of break statement that we will discuss into the next lecture. Thank you very much students for listening me, and have a nice day.